He was dead for 4 minutes. What he saw in that darkness was not a dream. It was hell. And he says it changed everything. In today's video, you're about to witness one of the most terrifying and mysterious near-death experiences ever recorded. The true account of a man who claims he went to hell and returned. Whether you're a skeptic, a believer, or just curious about life after death, this story will challenge everything you thought you knew. But what exactly did he see? And why does he wish he never came back? The beginning. A normal life turned nightmare. Howard Storm wasn't just a man living a normal life. He was a professor, an atheist, and someone who believed that after death, there was simply nothing. In 1985, during a trip to Paris with his students, Storm suffered a sudden, massive perforation of the stomach, a rupture that should have killed him almost instantly. Lying on a hospital bed in excruciating pain, without immediate access to surgery, Howard believed this was the end. And for a brief moment, it was. Leaving the body as the pain faded, he found himself standing next to the hospital bed, watching his own body lying motionless. At first, he didn't realize he had died. He felt light, alert, even normal. Except for one terrifying detail. No one in the room could see or hear him. Then, voices called out, not from the doctors, not from the nurses, but from somewhere beyond the room, echoing, whispering, coaxing him to follow. The descent, what started as curiosity, quickly turned to horror. The voices, once soft and welcoming, grew urgent and cruel. As he followed them, down a long, dark corridor, he began to sense he was being lured into a trap. And then, they attacked. He describes being torn, bitten, and mocked by shadowy figures. Their laughter wasn't human. Their words cut deeper than any wound. "You deserve this," they said. "You belong here." He tried to fight. He screamed for help. Nothing worked out until he remembered something. Something from childhood. A word, a name, a prayer. The turning point. Barely able to speak, he muttered, "Jesus, help me." That's when everything stopped. In his words, a brilliant light, like no light I've ever seen, broke into the darkness. The entities that tormented him recoiled. And then a presence approached. Not a voice, not a face, but a being of pure love. A love so overwhelming, so absolute, it made Howard weep. He was shown his life. Every decision, every moment. Not just from his eyes, but from the eyes of those he had hurt, those he had ignored. He was judged not with anger, but with truth. The presence didn't condemn. It simply showed. Howard begged to stay. But it wasn't his time. In an instant, he was back in the hospital, gasping, screaming, alive. But here's the part that disturbs even the most skeptical minds. Howard wasn't religious. He had mocked belief. He didn't want this experience. So, was it real? Or a hallucination brought on by trauma? How do we explain what he saw, the things he claims to know now, about life, death, and the choices we make? Science versus spirit. Doctors often argue that near-death experiences, NDEs, are the result of brain chemistry, oxygen deprivation, or dying neurons firing erratically. But Howard's case doesn't fit neatly into that box. His heart was beating. He was conscious up until he wasn't. And what he describes goes far beyond what science can currently map. He recounted details from rooms and conversations he couldn't have possibly heard. He described emotions and realms no drug-induced state could replicate. Common patterns in NDEs. Interestingly, thousands of people have reported similar experiences. Tunnels of darkness, beings of light, life reviews, and a profound transformation. Afterward, but what makes Howard's account chilling is that he didn't go to the light at first. He went to darkness, torment, a place many call hell. And he's not alone. Other and survivors have also described similar realms: shadowy beings, landscapes of fire and ice, endless screaming, isolation. These aren't dreamlike images. They're vivid, consistent across cultures, ages, even religions. A life transformed after his return, Howard Storm was no longer the same man. He left his career. He studied theology. He became a pastor, not to preach fear, but to teach love. Because he says the lesson wasn't about hell itself, but about how he got there. According to him, it wasn't belief that saved him. It was love or more. Accurately, the absence of love in his life. He had lived selfishly, arrogantly, without compassion. Hell, he believes, was a reflection of that life, a mirror of his own spiritual emptiness. Asterisk, there's a moment in Howard's story that sends chills down your spine. After being shown visions of Earth, the cosmos, and even possible futures for humanity, the being of light asked him one final question before sending him back. Are you ready to love? That was the key. Not belief, not ritual, but love. In that moment, he realized the scariest thing about hell is that many of us are already building it. Here, now, with our actions, with our indifference, with our silence. Asterisk, Howard Storm's account isn't just a terrifying story. It's a wake-up call. Whether you believe in the afterlife or not, there's a deeper truth here. The life you live, the people you affect, and the love or lack of it that you carry shapes your existence in ways we may never fully understand. Hell might not be fire and brimstone. It might be the cold emptiness of a life lived without purpose, without connection, without love. Howard says he doesn't fear death anymore, but he fears not living rightly, not loving enough. And if he truly saw what he claims, maybe we should too.